You want to?
And the appeal was filed in the Court of Appeal.
The appeal was in the Court of Appeal in front of Kiage, Kariuki, and Wasame.
Okay. Do you recall the particulars?
Sorry, Kiage, Kariuki,
and Wasame.
Do you recall the appeal number? I know it has been a little while, but do you recall the appeal number in the Court of Appeal?
No problem. I don't have it.
Okay. That's fine. Now, the appeal was heard by the three judges that you have stated. Do you recall the outcome of that appeal?
I know I lost the appeal.
was it unanimous or majority?
It was 2 against 1. 1 dissenting.
One dissenting,
yeah.
And two in a majority.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the outcome or the effect of your losing that appeal in the Court of Appeal, Bwana Governor?
I went to the Supreme Court because I felt that there were fundamental facts which had not been taken into account, and the appeal should not have succeeded as it had been filed out of time.
So this time around, Bwana Governor, you were the one dissatisfied
Yes.
with the decision of the Court of Appeal.
And unhappy.
I wasn't unhappy. I mean, I was just surprised that the same Court of Appeal went against their own decisions, because there were several precedences where the grounds of my opposition to the appeal, they did go against their own judgments.
All right, we'll get to those in a moment when we look at that decision. But suffice it to say at this point in time that the Court of Appeal pronounced itself, and they agreed with the appeal that had been filed by Ferdinand Waititu.
Yes.
What was the outcome of that appeal? What was as far as Dr. Evans Kidero is concerned, what was the effect of that appeal being allowed by the Court of Appeal?
It nullified my governorship.
All right. You then went to the Supreme Court?
I went to the Supreme Court.
As you are entitled to do. Okay. Do you recall the appeal number, the petition of appeal number in the Supreme Court?
No, I don't have the details.
You can put it in.
Yeah.
Petition of appeal number 18 of 2014.
Yeah.
As consolidated with petition of appeal number 20 of 2014. Do you recall those numbers? Are they the numbers of the appeals?
Yeah, I should think so. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, there are certain allegations that have been made by Jeffrey Kiplagat about what happened at ostensibly your instance, whilst those two petitions of appeal, or your petition of appeal, was pending for determination before the Supreme Court. And Governor, I want us now to turn to the affidavit that I had referred you to of Mr. Kiplagat, and I just want us to examine some of those allegations and take your testimony on them. You have the affidavit in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, I want us to go to paragraph 9 of the affidavit and look at it together with paragraph 8 and paragraph 9. In those paragraphs, Kiplagat alleges that Mike Njeru got in touch with him and asked him for assistance, again, like I said, ostensibly on your behalf, to seek the assistance of Mr. Justice Tunoi to intervene on your behalf in respect of the appeal that you had filed and that was pending for determination in the Supreme Court.
I would say you should read those paragraphs.
All right. Let me read those paragraphs to you, Governor. Paragraph 8 reads as follows: that in early May 2014, I received an urgent call from Nairobi businessman Mike Njeru. The sense of urgency was palpable in the sense of his tone. Mr. Njeru is a Nairobi businessman who owns companies, among them Alpha Logistics, a clearing and forwarding company, as well as Transcend Media Agency. I got acquainted with Mr. Njeru when he was the campaign funds mobilizer for the then Prime Minister Raila Odinga, while I was working at Kass FM. Paragraph 9. Mr. Mike Njeru, was then proceeding to Nakuru, but having interacted with him over the same time, he had no qualms briefing me over the phone. The brief was for me to contact Justice Philip Tunoi to help Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero in his case at the Supreme Court in the appeal against Ferdinand Waititu. The judgment in the appeal was delivered on Friday, the 30th of August 2014. Now, in these paragraphs, Lelmet sets out how he is known to your friend Mike Njeru, and then in paragraph 9, he then makes the allegation that Mike Njeru was seeking Lelmet's assistance to intervene with Mr. Justice Tunoi on your behalf in respect of the election petition pending in the Supreme Court, and you have confirmed that you had filed that petition. Yeah. What do you have to say about that allegation, Bwana Governor?
Probably starting with paragraph 8, early May, the judgment of the Court of Appeal was read on the 13th of May.
Yes.
So I don't know whether that qualifies as early May. And two, I had absolutely no reason to seek assistance from anybody because my case was clear and shut. Because it was based on election rule 35, and this had been they had not the time element. The case was filed out of time. Rule 35 is 30 days, and it took them 73 days. So it was filed out of time by 42 days. And there were various precedences to that, if you allow me, Chairman, which we were relying on, the Patrick Ngeta Kimanzi case, Civil Appeal 191 of 2013, Ferdinand Waititu. This was an interlocutory appeal in front of Judge Mwera, Musinga, and Kiage. Himself, the Kakuta Maimai Hamisi versus Peris Tobiko, Appeal 137/1 of 2013, Wavinya Ndeti versus IBC and 4 others, Civil Appeal 323 of 2013, Nicholas Kiptoa Rapsalat versus IBC and 6 others, Civil Appeal application number 228 of 2013, which had all been determined in the Court of Appeal. So I had a fairly strong case. I didn't need to get anybody's assistance.
And how had those, do you recall how those